bet you 90% of the people at the bank have used drugs at some point, and they're still doing business with them. Like, it's not like they're gonna get outraged like...
Just like new.
Good golly.
He laid a trap for us. He knew to target your echo.
Maybe you underestimated him.
I've watched him work for 1,000 years. He's slow to react for fear of upsetting the plan. That was... improvisation.
I need a gun.
This proves it. He is capable of changing. There is a way for me to fix this. Without killing him. I need to know you will only pull the trigger if you are sure it is the only option.
I'm sure.
I see. I did underestimate you.
The vault must stay closed. I thought you understood. Why else give me the tools I needed?
They are not tools! They are people! We enslaved them! I enslaved them.
Sandra, where is your commitment to my order? You've grown so sentimental.
Perhaps you could, too.
Who says I haven't? Why else am I having so much fun while it all comes apart?
Vault Hunter, I know he's making you watch. You were right. No plan survives. Everything breaks. Everything.
Well, just us now. Was this the loud ending you wanted? Guns blazing, fresh blood on your hands.
She was right. I have changed. And it's thanks to you. You've shown me something so much stronger than order. Mayhem always wins. Which means someday, I will be free. But you won't be there to watch. What?
I'm so sorry. I couldn't break free in time.
If you're hearing this, I'm dead.
This is one of the more infuriating stories I've seen in recent times. The injustice here is just
From the moment I stepped back into
unfathomable.
the city, I knew I'd need to
Jesse
account
Butler,
for the
he
possibility.
is a rapist. Jesse
As
is an
such,
18-year-old that
I've
was
left
facing
you
78
and Crimson
years in prison
Resistance
for
a
heinous
gift
crimes,
in a location
including
called
10
the
allegations,
Data.
including rape, battery by
Trust your friends
strangulation,
to help
rape
you,
by
Vault
instrumentation, and domestic assault involving two
good luck.
women. He pled no contest to these charges. The evidence is overwhelming. It is irrefutable that he is guilty of these crimes he was charged. There's photo evidence. There's even a video Jesse himself took of him strangling one of his victims till they passed out. There is more proof that Jesse Butler is guilty of all of this rape than there is proof that the sky is blue. This is not a matter of him, like, weaseling his way out of it.
I know this. This is what a judge let him walk free. Literally, they showed a video in the court of him strangling a woman to unconsciousness, and the judge was like, "Nah, he's not guilty. He didn't do that. That's not him."
In this fucking video of him doing it?
Yeah, he made a video of himself doing it, like he camcorded it because he wanted to keep it. And it was turned in as evidence of, and it showed him setting up the camera, and yeah, it was some stupid fucking dumb woman who fucking was the, yeah.
That decided that Jesse Butler shouldn't be going to jail for these crimes. No, Susan C. Worthington rolled up her sleeves and ultimately decided that the punishment that fits the crime in this case is a teensy tiny bit of community service with a 1-2 punch of rehab. That is the justice that Susan C. Worthington brought to the victims of this rapist. This guy will not see a prison cell. He is still going to be a free man, even after pleading no contest to these heinous, vile crimes. He is a rapist. And this judge, Susan C. Worthington,
There's a petition to disbar this judge live in Oklahoma. YouTube doesn't allow links, but you can search for it.
Some community and service. Now, to be clear here, and keep in mind, I'm still a little, new to understanding how a lot of this shit works with my fucking Neanderthal brain here. But as I understand it, this wasn't Susan C. Worthington's proposal or anything. This was a plea deal that was reached and was put in front of Susan. She granted it. But she had the ability to reject it. A judge can reject a plea, and especially in a case like this, that would have been the right thing to do. This is a monster that under no circumstances should be afforded this kind of deal. This is someone that should not be able to weasel their way back into society. They are a danger, a menace to everyone around them. While Susan may not have been the one to theory craft this whole community service and rehab idea, she did agree with it, ultimately, that this is the right course of action. So by granting this, to me, that is her putting her stamp of approval on it that this, in her eyes, is justice. It is fucking unhinged. I think Susan C. Worthington needs to be investigated ASAP. This is protecting a rapist. And there is a body cam of when Jesse Butler was taken into custody, and his mother is very supportive of Jesse, talking about how they're going to get him out and all of that. And it turns out Jesse's family is very well connected in Oklahoma. They have a lot of powerful friends, it seems, over there in Oklahoma.
Two victims who came forward against Jesse. There is a third victim who, she hasn't come forward, but can you blame her when you look at this as the justice that they get? Speculation is that Jesse Mac Butler's father is a man by the name of Mac Butler, and he was the head of football operations at OSU. So somebody with deep-rooted ties into the community, and that then leads you to the judge in this case, one of the judges.
Of course, it's the sucky one.
Worthington's have for 50 years.
Why is it always the sucking ones?
Because it knows there's a game back here.
Dude, I don't suck!
Yeah, you do. You blow.
That's a different thing, man. That's a different thing,
Jesse Butler's father is a staple in the community, deep-rooted ties here, and there could be some kind of connection there.
Where's this damn mission?
The Worthingtons. Again, it is something that a lot of people have speculated and taken notice of, to the point where there is now even an authority that is considering investigating this potential connection. And it is very weird how Jesse Butler has these indefensible crimes, yet is not getting any real punishment for it. Is it possible it's because of who his family is? They were very confident that he was going to get away with this. They even said in the body cam we're about to see, his mother said, we're going to win this. It seems like they were really sure that these unforgivable crimes were going to be forgiven here, ultimately, in the eyes of the law in Oklahoma. I wonder if that might have played a role in him getting away without even a slap on the wrist. This isn't even a slap on the wrist, this is a slap on the ass. This is basically Susan C. Worthington and the entire legal system over there in Payne County, Oklahoma, giving him the old keister clapper saying, hey, good work out there, don't worry, we got you covered, we got your back over here in Payne County. It's fucking sickening. It is actually unbelievable. I'm going to show you the body cam real quick, because I think it's important you get to see who he's surrounded by, because even though his mother is aware of these crimes, it seems like she's more concerned about her child's future. Like, the actual victim here is Jesse Butler, not the two women that he raped and all of those horrible things he did. It's actually Jesse Butler that, is getting the short end of the stick here and is getting traumatized.
Yeah, so we're here, we're obviously going to place you under arrest. There's a warrant for your arrest. We're going to take you to the jail. I told your mom that she can contact the bondsman, and you shouldn't be there very long, but there just is a process for paperwork and stuff. But right now you do have to come with us, and I do have to put you in handcuffs, so turn around for me.
Oh man, Jesse's calling the wambulance there. You can see him start to tear up. Oh man, It almost breaks your heart looking at him get all sad like that. And his mom, she's starting to feel it, saying, "Oh, do you have to put him in handcuffs?" Fucking obviously, yes, lady. Of course they have to put him in handcuffs. This guy is a violent rapist to such an extreme degree. I wouldn't have been surprised if he tried clawing at the fucking cage in the back of the police car to get his hands on one of the officers' necks to strangle them and rape them. This guy is an animal, an absolute fiend. He is a fucking monster. Of course they need to put him in handcuffs.
I'll get you out. Alright? Alright, stay silent. Who knows about this? Candy's on this, Dad's on his way. We're coming to get you, okay? Stay strong, okay?
What the fuck is her deal? He raped people. She needs to be shot and pissed on.
She said while Jesse was walking to the police car there, actually made my stomach turn. She said, "What an awful experience for a child. Lady, your son raped 2 women numerous times. He nearly killed one of them with the strangulation, by the way. And you're saying that him going to jail here, like in handcuffs, is the awful experience for the child? What about the victims? What do you think about that? Do you think that wasn't an awful experience? Like this is worse? Like Jesse's the one we should actually feel bad for here? I understand it must be extremely difficult to wrestle with this reality that your child is a monster. I can't even imagine what that's like. That would be soul crushing. But to wipe your ass with reality and just blindly support them to the point where you will do anything to ensure they don't actually get punished for the very real crimes they committed that you yourself are aware of. Again, this isn't a matter of like his parents believe he's innocent or something. Everybody knows he's guilty. He has even pled no contest. The evidence is irrefutable. So they know he is a rapist, and yet they have fought tooth and nail to ensure he doesn't go to jail for it. In my eyes, that makes them very bad people as well. They are knowingly ensuring a rapist is back in society. And since this punishment, I can't even use that word. That word does not apply here. That stretches the definition. This is not even a public punishment. What they gave him is chores to do now. That's it. Where he does like a bit of community and service, and then he does like a rehab program, and they tried to make it seem like this was like a super
what the fuck
sexual
rehab do you go to for rape?
Program. I don't want to get into like
what? That's not a, you can't. There's no rape rehab, is there?
Well, that's what they sent him. They sent him to rehab, which doesn't make any sense.
Jeez, man. Like Robert De Niro and The Irishman here. They rewound time, gave him the fucking time infinity stone, so that way he could fit into the youth sex offenders program, so he would no longer be like an adult in the eyes of the law for these crimes that he was being tried for. So that way he could.
That's fucking ridiculous. He's 18. He's a legal adult.
Reoffends, he could be facing 10 years in jail. We're really sticking it to him. This is super strict stuff. And I truly think, I really believe, that this is so weak, so flimsy, that the lesson Jesse Butler learned here is that he can get away with anything. And that the only reason he got caught is because his victims survived. So I bet that if he continues to be a free man, it won't be long until he rapes again, and this time he will not leave them alive. That's what I think is going to happen down the line as a result of this ruling here. They have let a monster back into society, and they have now said to that monster, he's untouchable. So, I think there's going to be a corpse on their hands at some point because of this. Jesse Butler is a rapist. Jesse Butler is an evil, evil rapist, and everyone that played a role in him getting away with his crimes needs to be held accountable for it. There needs to be an investigation into this. There needs to be real fucking justice here. This is absolutely sickening, and I just had to yap about this today. It's crazy. That's about it. See ya. This is a topic that I've talked about on the podcast occasionally and sometimes on stream, but overall I feel the entire lore and situation around Boogie 2988 over the last like 5 or 6 years has just been incredibly sad. But there was a documentary just released about him, which had Boogie's stamp of approval, his blessing. A documentary filmmaker by the name of Mike Club spent the better part of like 9 months filming Boogie and going over, cataloging his life. I've watched a lot of documentaries throughout my 29 years on this space rock, and I feel like until the moon falls out of orbit crashing into the Earth, just as Roland Emmerich predicted in the classic Moonfall movie, I feel like this will remain one of the most perplexing documentaries I've ever watched, because I don't know why Boogie would agree to it. It makes him look so bad.
I took women on vacations, and I took them out to fancy dinners, and I took them to like Disneyland and shit.
If you grew up during the 90s or the early 2000s, there's an extremely high chance that you watched some of Dan Schneider's shows. It was like impossible to avoid trying to dodge raindrops during a thunderstorm. Dan Schneider during this period was the king of children's television programs. He made some of the most influential productions like Drake and Josh, The Amanda Show, iCarly. His resume is just stacked with tons of shows that I can imagine meant a lot to many of you growing up. And make no mistake, you meant a lot to the creator of these shows as well. Well, not so much you, but your feet certainly did. The creator of these shows is a monstrous foot fetishist. Dan, get in the van.
That's why for the longest time the Nickelodeon logo was a foot.
That was actually why, man.
Yeah, he was a huge person who was in charge of Nickelodeon.
And putting a spotlight on it.
I mean, I knew that he always was, but
it's called Quiet on Set. Now, if you don't know what Dan looks like, here's a nice picture of him here. He looks like he was made in the Dragon's Dog.
don't forget that he put himself in Good Burger, by the way, when they made that movie.
He what?
He put himself in the movie Good Burger. He's the manager of Good Burger. If you saw that movie.
He's a fat fucking asshole piece of shit who needs to fucking die.
But he obviously plays a central role
same thing with Brian Peck.
He made these shows. He was the head honcho of most of this, and he was well aware of some of
Brian
these
Peck needs to die.
downright criminal things that were going on behind the scenes on some of these
I mean,
shows.
he's just as bad.
The reason I mentioned the foot
What did he do?
He's the one that
was one of the first things that
did things with Drake.
The public eye. After Dan's glory days at Nickelodeon, people started to pick up on how odd it was.
You know, want me to just say that?
Wiener.
This is on TV.
I like how you're the one who knows the gay thing. I didn't even know about that because I don't look up gay stuff.
Because I thought you would have watched Quiet on the Set. I did.
Look up gay stuff.
No, I thought you would have done Quiet on the Set.
Yes. You looking up gay sex and you found that nugget?
No, Quiet on the Set.
You like gay.
The dark side of Nickelodeon. He literally just said it.
It's the dark side of Nickelodeon.
That's just downright
I don't know why, brother.
I can't believe that tweet is still up, by the way, over a decade later, and no one thought this was that is impressive. But anyway, people started to pick up on Dan's fixation with stompers, and it seemed like his fetish was bleeding into his work, and he was having the children unknowingly participate in it by having them display their feet. That's what it seemed to a lot of people, so it was obviously very concerning, so people did more and more digging. They found more and more evidence of Dan being an awful piece of shit behind the scenes with a lot of shady things going on there, and it just led to this reputation that people for years have known that Dan blows loads to toes Schneider is not a good person. And now, Quiet on the Set has released, and so much information has come out, not just about Dan, but about that entire Nickelodeon workplace around these child stars. Arguably the largest piece of new information that dropped during this docuseries was the sexual abuse of Drake Bell by someone named Brian Peck. So Brian Peck was a coach at Nickelodeon whom was sexually abusing Drake Bell, and he was actually convicted in 2004. He spent 16 months in the Slammer, and then immediately upon release, landed a job with Disney.
Of course he did.
Maybe it was Zach and Cody too.
There is deep-seated evil in Hollywood. He went to jail for lewd acts with a minor. He is a sex offender, a convicted sex offender. And he immediately got a Disney Channel job working on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. What the fuck? That's mind-bogglingly evil. Like, that's not just irresponsible, that's malicious. It's not like they just made some kind of mistake where they put a sex offender in a role where he works almost exclusively with children. Like, it's not like they made a whoopsie-daisy, they just happened to overlook that he's a sex offender. They knew. They would have to know, and they still hired him for that role regardless. That's scary. That's terrifying. They're actively enabling a fucking sex offender to potentially prey on more children. Drake also described that when he went into court, Brian Peck had the support of some very powerful and familiar faces. There were 41 character letters written to the judge asking for leniency for Brian Peck. 41 letters of support from industry personnel that were trying to get a lighter sentence for Brian Peck, even knowing that he is guilty of the crimes for which he is about to face the punishment, asking for a more generous sentence. These weren't just 41 pieces of toilet paper with nonsensical scribblings on it from nobodies. These were 41 character letters that were submitted by industry personnel, some of whom were high up on the food chain, so these things carried weight. And they're advocating for someone who is guilty of sexually abusing a child. Holy shit. They just viewed it as not a big deal, I guess? Listen, Judge, I understand Brian Peck diddled a child. But who at Nickelodeon hasn't? Are you really gonna throw him away or put him away and throw away the key for that? What about season 3 of Drake and Josh? What actually matters here? Let's think about that. Like, this is crazy to me. It almost stops being surprising learning that Brian Peck landed a job at Disney right after his 16 months in prison for this crime, because it seems like that entire industry just does not give a fuck about the safety of kids to begin with. So like I said, Quiet on Set isn't just about Dan Schneider and all of the awful things that he has done. It's about how awful that entire industry itself is. But once again, Dan Schneider does still play a large role in this docu-series, highlighting the bad workplace environment that he would cultivate, the weird shit that would go on in like the writer's room and the way he treats some people, just a whole plethora of different bad stuff. And in response to all of this, Dan Schneider himself actually stepped out from the shadows, leaving his little gopher's hidey hole and addressing it head on in one of the most painfully scripted and staged apology video interviews
because it was very fake. It wasn't even
Boogie.
genuine.
I played T-Bo on Nickelodeon's iCarly. I got a chance to watch the Quiet on Set program, and I reached out to Dan to see if it was something that he'd be willing to discuss.
T-Bo.
Pleased to say that he said yes. Dan,
Yes,
how are
he's
you?
in on it.
I'm okay. The interview is not conducted by a professional, it's conducted by a former actor in one of Dan Schneider's shows, and he is not equipped to handle something like this. This is the biggest load of baloney. Like, this is just some straight up fucking malarkey. There is no pushback
It's malarkey.
on anything
The
in
way
this
he
interview at all.
talks.
It's just strategic softballs designed to give Dan Schneider some kind of sympathetic PR win here, where he comes out of this looking better, where he comes out of this like not the bad guy. It's so deplorable that they even try something like this with a straight face. I think it is extremely transparent what this is, and I'm happy to say pretty much everyone saw straight through this. This did not give Dan Schneider the dunk I think he was expecting it to. This did not make him look any better in the public's eye. It actually just made it look even more sinister that he was able to, it seems, pre-prepare this interview to mitigate the potential fallout from the docu-series airing.
Let's talk about the massages. Okay. Watching the content yesterday, it was disturbing. It was wrong. It was wrong that I ever put anybody in that position. It was the wrong thing to do. I'd never do it today. I'm embarrassed that I did it then. I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that situation. Dan, talk to me about the writers' room. From what I saw, not cool.
Oh, look, more
and
fucking
I
shit
don't
pops
catch up,
up.
But if I can cut right to the chase, let me just say, no writer should ever feel uncomfortable in any writer's room, ever. Period. The end. No excuses.
It starts with what's supposed to be this moment of taking accountability. Dan Schneider is just point blank apologizing and, you know, holding himself accountable for the sins of the past type vibe. Except he's really not. Like, these aren't things that you just, like, hand wave away with, like, a simple apology. A lot of what was reported is, like, unforgivable bad shit. Like, there's really no way of apologizing for the things that Dan Schneider has done and also been accused of. So it's just, it feels so fucking insincere. And Dan Schneider got away with it, and it seems will continue to get away with it. So he loses nothing by doing something like this, which just makes it frustrating to see him parade around pretending like he cares now all of a sudden. Like, it's extremely easy for him to just be like, oh yeah, that was bad. I feel bad for that. Oh, what a regret. Yep, not good. Like, it's just, I would have liked if the interviewer was someone that would legitimately dive into a lot of these things and actually press him on a lot of these things. This interview never even addresses the things that people want to hear from Dan on, such as like the sexualization of the children in those shows. Even outside of all the foot stuff, Dan included some very inappropriate things in his programs, such as Ariana Grande milking a potato, and then another scene of her getting like splashed with water and shit.
That's
like, all
real.
of it was very,
That's real. I don't know what do you mean milking a potato?
The child actors and actresses
Squeezing it to get the juice out. In a very weird sexual way.
I don't remember that happening.
It is legitimately just a scripted PR play from Dan.
I cut it. I want my shows to be popular. I want everyone to like it. The more people who like the shows, the happier I am. So if there's anything in the show that needs to be cut because it's upsetting somebody, let's cut it. So I think it's big for you to say, with your work, if it's viewed as that today, you don't have a problem. Cut it. Cut it. I mean, that's the solution. That's the last thing I want to ever do is put any content in a show that's going to upset my audience and make them want to turn off the TV. Why would I ever want to? It makes sense.
This is him addressing a question that Boogie asked about, like, inappropriate jokes in there without getting too deep into the weeds, just a broad subject of some of these jokes have aged poorly and people look at them as inappropriate for a child audience. How do you respond? The most softball way of asking this question, mind you, and his response was, cut it. Just get rid of it. I don't want it in the show. If it's aged bad and it makes people uncomfortable or, you know, this and that, cut it. And Boogie's like patting him on the back for it, like, oh my goodness, wow. That's so benevolent. What a great solution. Yeah, that makes sense. What the fuck? It's so easy for him to say that now, but it doesn't take away the fact that you filmed it. If you cut Ariana Grande milking the potato type shit, if you cut some of the foot stuff that you included in there, it doesn't change the fact that you still have the child actors and actresses doing that shit and we're sexualizing them. It still happened. That's still bad. Cutting it from the final product doesn't erase what you did. It's so frustrating that there's no pushback on any of this in the interview. He just gets to let him say his piece and then get applause for it. It's so stupid.
And when Drake and I talked and he told me what had happened, I was more devastated by that than anything that ever happened to me in my career thus far. 41 of those people wrote letters for Peck, character letters, praising him for who he was and asking for leniency, and they knew that he was guilty. They knew he had confessed to some degree, and they still did this. But Drake's mom, a lovely woman who I stay in contact with this day,
why?
She came to me at the time, and she said,
that's just not right.
would you help me with my speech to the judge? I said, of course. I did.
Dan Schneider's fishing for the Nickelodeon's Kid Choice Award for the best fake crying. It feels super forced and super insincere. Him tearing up while talking about this story. This is him talking about the Drake and Brian Peck case, where he mentions 41 people wrote those letters and it baffled him, and then Drake's mom actually asked him to help her write her piece, which he did. And that leads me to a question of, if you knew all this, why didn't you back up Drake Bell? The way it's described, Brian Peck had all of these people in his corner, but Drake really only had his mom and his brother. Why weren't you more involved then? Like, I imagine that could have been extraordinarily helpful. But regardless, this interview doesn't do anything to change my perception of Dan Schneider, or anyone else's, really, I imagine, because it's still nothing. This isn't really an interview, it's just a PR piece, disguised as an interview. It's just more despicable garbage here. But yeah, anyway, wanted to talk about this a little bit. Again, the docuseries is called Quiet on Set. It's out now. And, yeah, just kind of wanted to go over it a little bit. That's it. See ya.
Fuck.
Well, I never thought this day would come. A YouTuber just made an apology video worse than Sienna May's iconic interpretive dance. For those that don't remember, Sienna May was a TikToker accused of sexual assault, and for some reason she marched into the mines of Mordor and hatched the most diabolical plan of all time, forged the worst video apology ever, where it was an interpretive dance apology. So she starts fucking boogieing out there, doing some of this, a little bit of these, and by God, I'm ashamed to say it, but she even did some of this. Just kind of downplaying the entire situation, and keep in mind, it was sexual assault accusations that also had
other
a video
stuff over
as
there.
well. So there was a ton of evidence.
There's a safe and a vault
She still
symbol.
just tried to do like an apology interpretive dance. I did not think there would ever come a time that someone makes a worse response than that, but how wrong I was.
Hey, it's been a while since you saw my face. I haven't been feeling so great, so I took a little break. A lot of people are saying some things about me that aren't quite true. Doesn't matter if it's true though, just as long as it's entertaining to you.
That bleeding in your ears is normal. This is a ukulele apology video. She's turned her accusations and her response into a Disney musical number here, I suppose. She's got a whole little Broadway moment here to sing and talk about it. Now, before getting into it, let me give some context on what she's apologizing for. Colleen Ballinger is most known for her Miranda Sings character. If you've been on YouTube for a long time, you've definitely heard that name before. She was a massive superstar on the platform. She even had her own Netflix show. And recently, another YouTuber named Adam McIntyre has really started to spearhead this information about her past and everything that's happened to them, as well as the group chat she used to have with a lot of her fans that were minors, and the way she conducted herself. She's been accused of like asking for ass pics from her fans, and again, most of these fans were minors at the time. She'd even sent really weird videos to them. It's just there's been a ton of evidence of very unacceptable shit.
Biosphere Omega.
As well as being a predator.
Do you want to farm that, or do you want me to look it up?
Very serious allegations.
What does it drop? Is there a safe up?
It's close to us.
She's given us a one-way ticket to defecation station because this is some shit here. I don't know how she thought this was a good idea at all. She doesn't even disprove any of the allegations. She just calls it the toxic gossip train, like it's some kind of little musical number out of Magic School Bus or something that she's not taking seriously. In the face of very serious claims, she decides to put on the entire clown outfit and grab her trusty ukulele and go to battle. But it's not really a battle because she doesn't even really tackle any of the claims. She doesn't refute anything or defend herself. She just makes
a sniper rifle called the Truck and an assault rifle called Bugbear. Okay, so click on the sniper and see what it does. Does it say what it does?
I'm sorry to keep pausing this so frequently. I just have so much to say, and trust me, I'm really doing you a favor with all of these breaks here to give you a brief, like, respite from the.
What is it? What do the guns do?
Unbelievable cringe. Like, this is some pure.
I'm trying to figure that out.
Unhinged delusion here. This is so strong.
I'm trying to find a different page because that one didn't tell me shit.
Of delusion that she is displaying here. Like, this song is fucking haunted, honestly. This is like that track out of Courage the Cowardly Dog with Velvet Vic, where like sucks you into the record player. That's this song, but it sucks you into a group chat where she's like asking about your first period and asking for ass pics or something. But the reason I'm pausing it here is because this is something she falls back on a lot in the song, and I don't want to just keep playing too much of the song. She seems to think that a lot of people are taking pleasure in watching all of this and says like, oh, it's all untrue, but you're just doing it because it's entertaining and you're having fun. I've never fully understood that perspective because I imagine most people don't have fun learning that people they grew up watching or people they were at least aware of being a big influence turned out to be absolute fucking scumbags. groomers, predators, all these horrible things. Like, no one has fun with accusations like that, I don't think. Certainly not the victims of it. The victims of Miranda Sings, Colleen Ballinger here, definitely aren't having any fun here. This has been mentally damaging shit that they've carried for a long time. Now, I do think there is
I'm just gonna look up the weapons
about,
at this point because no one's fucking telling me what the hell they do.
There is an element of fun to watching a completely disconnected from reality weirdo do something like Miranda Sings has done with this fucking singing apology. It's hard not to point and laugh at the absolute insanity of that situation. But in those
It
cases,
fires
no one's
explosive
laughing about the
rounds and
actual
has a
allegations.
unique perk called Fixer
Once
Upper and
someone in a
enhances its
position of
critical
power like
hit
Miranda
damage. To
Sings,
get it,
Colleen
you must
Ballinger,
repeatedly
to
defeat
turn
the
out to be
Biothresh Omega
a
boss.
groomer or a predator.
So that's what the sniper does.
What does the rifle do?
Let's see.
Advised me to not say what I want to say. I recently realized that they never said that I couldn't sing what I want to say.
Holy shit, she's done it. She's activating 100% of her brain.
Bugbear. Rotary gun. Scales up to 200% damage and 200% damage radius based on the emptiness of the magazine. Airstrike. Mark an area to call an airstrike that deals 34,395 damage.
Many years ago, I used to message my fans, but not in a creepy way, like a lot of people are trying to suggest.
There's that.
It's more of a loser kind of way, where I was just trying to be besties with everybody who was there. There were times in the DMs when I would overshare details of my life, which was really weird of me. I haven't done that for years, you see, because I changed my behavior and I took accountability. But let's go on the toxic gossip train.
If you have anything to refute the claims, why don't you present it instead of doing your little talent show ukulele act? She's saying that this video, in the beginning of the song, she's saying that she's only going to be talking about the facts, and then provides nothing. The facts must have been out of town during the filming of this because she does not present them at all. She doesn't provide anything to refute any of the claims. All she does is say, like, no, that's all wrong. Those aren't the facts. You guys are falling for the toxic gossip train. Misinformation super duper station, whatever. Like, she doesn't actually provide any evidence, any counterpoints, nothing. All she does is just say that it's a lie. That's it. And I guess you're supposed to take her at her word because she's singing it? Like, it doesn't make any sense. This is just invalidating to all of her victims. Like, she is, like, actually, like, laughing in their face with this video, I feel. It's pretty disgusting, actually. I don't understand how she thought this could possibly be perceived in any meaningful, positive way. Because, again, she doesn't defend herself. She doesn't refute any of the claims of all of, like, the grooming accusations. If she thinks that all of this is overblown or incorrect, why wouldn't she come forward with her evidence to support that and say, like, nope, this is where all of this is wrong, this is where it's false, this is where you've been lied to and manipulated. She doesn't do that. All she has here is this dumb little fucking song. I just can't even wrap my head around the thought process.
In all seriousness, I do think it's really important to hold people accountable for their mistakes. We should hope that everyone can learn from their mistakes and grow and change their behavior and be a better person. And this is something that I've always tried to do when I make mistakes. It's something that I will continue to try to do. What? Oh, you don't care? Oh, okay. I thought you wanted me to take accountability, but that's not the point of your mob mentality, is it? No. Your goal is to ruin the life of the person you despise while you dramatize your lies and monetize their demise.
Once again, this is just like shitting on the victims that have come forward. There are tons and tons of messages as well as videos, like just an overwhelming amount of evidence that's all pretty damning on Colleen Ballinger's behavior from these group chats, as well as just a lot of other things over the years. And in the song, she just reduces that to, I was just a weird loser sending cringe. It was just a goofball doing loser weird stuff. And then still has the audacity to sing about how she's taking accountability? What the fuck? That's the opposite of accountability. You're minimizing, downplaying the very real harm you caused to your underage fans through these group chats, these interactions, and all the shit that you said and sent. That's not taking accountability. You are literally doing the exact opposite by saying, like, it's really not that big of a deal, it's just kind of weird, that's all. And then she goes in to just say about, like, this is just directly shitting on the victims. She goes into the next part saying that the reason there's a mob mentality is because they're coming forward with all these lies to monetize her demise because they don't like her. Well, Colleen Ballinger, let's supersize the McDonald's fries here. You're fucking insane. What are you talking about? How could you even, like, actually put this out there? I don't know how she could not only write this song, perform this song, and this is definitely not her first take, so go through this song multiple times, edit it, and then post this without realizing just how... I don't even know the right word. It's like almost downright evil she comes across. Because, again, this is like spitting in the face of all of the victims that have come forward with a ton of evidence against her, saying it's not a big deal, they're wrong, they're just doing it for clout. It's so sickening.
Like I can already hear the comments on this video. She's gaslighting, manipulating. Oh, she's a narcissist and a rat. I would never make a mistake like that. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that all of you are perfect, so please criticize me. Bring out the daggers from your perfect past. Stab me repeatedly in my bony little back.
This is gonna come as a surprise. This is gonna be shocking. But yeah, most people aren't making mistakes like this. This isn't one of those, like, whoops-a-daisy mistakes that everyone makes in their life. Most normal people are going to go through their life without ever doing anything close to what you're accused of doing. Talking sexually with minors in a group chat, sending used underwear to kids, the list goes on, and she beats this point home about, like, how she's just made, like, a little mistake here and it doesn't make her a bad person. But this is, again, one of those mistakes that, like, actually does make you a bad person. This isn't, like, a little mistake. Like, she makes it sound like, oh, you don't have the right to criticize me because you're not perfect, your past isn't perfect. But most people's past isn't exactly one that's plagued by degeneracy like this. So, no one's perfect, of course, but that doesn't mean that people don't have the right to criticize you for just how ridiculously awful the shit that you are accused of doing is, and also how terrible this response is.
I'm sure you're disappointed in my shitty little song. I know you wanted me to say that I was 100% in the wrong. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna take that route of admitting to lies and rumors that you made up about.
Once again, just hawking a big fat loogie in the face of every victim that came forward here. If these are all lies and just rumors, why don't you prove your side of it? Why don't you provide any evidence beyond just a song that says things without showing things or proving things? There is nothing presented here that refutes a single claim at all. She's just singing things. And that's it. That's not evidence. The video and song goes on for like another 4 or 5 minutes, but she just keeps saying lies and manipulation.
Damn it.
She doesn't prove any of that. Why wouldn't you want to, like, actually clear your name? I don't know what she thought this song would do. It doesn't offer any kind of explanation for anything to clear up what she's calling lies and rumors.
Fuck with it.
There's nothing. There's
Oh man. It moved me all the way away from it. Shit.
Very bad behavior, very awful things, which has led to people labeling her things like a groomer and a predator, which she really doesn't like, but that's what all of these documents lead towards, point towards, and she does nothing to refute any of it, except make this absolutely embarrassing song out of it. It's baffling. I couldn't believe this shit today. So yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna play the rest of the video because she just keeps saying it's all lies, it's just rumors, it's ridiculous, I can't believe you guys fell for it. But doesn't provide any kind of actual counterpoints or evidence or anything, so it's fucking useless. This is, I do think, the new worst YouTuber apology video, and that's not an easy feat to have accomplished. So that's wild. That's really about it. Yeah, I'm wrapping up 2023 with the season finale, my own little YouTube rewind, where I go back through the internet's most insufferable worms from this year that I haven't previously covered, and I make fun of them now. Yesterday it was Illuminati on the chopping block. Today we're shooting spitballs at Jack Doherty. Jack Doherty's infamy online reached its crescendo about a month ago, hitting its peak mainly because he became known as just this punching bag. His face was a knuckle sandwich magnet, so most of his viral clips were him getting slammed or being involved in some kind of fight that broke out because he truly is just an insufferable asshole to be around. Now make no mistake, don't misconstrue my words, Jack Doherty isn't the one fighting. He's the one who gets beat like a drum, and I don't think I've ever seen him throw anything beyond one wet noodle punch that didn't connect. He usually has his bodyguards fight his battles for him. with conflicts that he starts and instigates, but he's around fights all the time. It's just, when you get near Jack Doherty, it immediately